Hello Friendzies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another Shark Tales, and this is gonna be the story on how my family decided they were going to be vigilante heroes. It is just as bad as it sounds. Okay, so let's get into that because it needs a bit of backstory, so we're gonna jump into the backstory so this isn't a super long video. So basically it was the summer before I went into 7th grade, so I don't remember how old I was. I was definitely young. I don't know how old you were when you go into 7th grade, but I was young. And I think I've mentioned this before, I live in a 3-floor apartment, so there's always been neighbors upstairs, there's always been neighbors downstairs, and I live right in the middle. And at one point, back when, like, the summer before 7th grade, when I was very young, the people who lived downstairs from us, they didn't bother us, really. They went about their business and everything, but it was like a young couple with some kids. The boyfriend, father, like, I don't know what you want to call him, because I'm definitely not going to say his name. He was very into drug dealing and drugs and things like that, which, no judgment, it didn't bother us or anything, but you need to know that for the story. So yeah, summer before 7th grade, I'm staying up. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm sitting at my desk, my desk is here and then there's a window right in front of it. And I had a fan in my window and I heard strange sounds. And remember, I'm young. Remember this, I'm very young. I heard strange sounds, so I kind of like peek through my fan. And there's like 3 or 4 guys in like hockey masks, like talking and like mumbling to each other. And I'm like looking because I'm trying to see what's going on, and they saw me and started like going faster and like getting up my front steps. So I ran to my mom, obviously, like what else am I gonna do? I ran to my mom and I'm like crying and shaking her, and like she's asleep, so I'm shaking her trying to get her up. And right as she like woke up and was like, Heather, what's going on? There's banging on my front door and like loud male voices. And I don't mean to laugh because this is really scary. I love my mother very much, but she is a goofball and sometimes she can be ditzy. So they're banging on the front door and they're saying, the guy downstairs, they're saying his name over and over again. They're like, where is he? Like, we're looking for him. Where is he? And she's like, oh my God, what is this? And the way my house is, because we have people upstairs, you go in my front door and then there's steps up to the upstairs apartment and there's a hallway, and then my front door is at the end of the hallway. And we have like a shade over the window. So instead of being like, who is it, like peeking, this tiny little lady in her nightgown with like a crying child behind her goes, he's not here, like pulls the full thing up. Like, Mom. So they're yelling, they're like, where is he, like, da-da-da, and Mom's like, he's not here, like, get out of here, like, I'm gonna call the police, get out of here. But they won't go. And I'm, like, standing back, like, away from the door as far as I can get while still having eyes on my mom, because I'm like, oh my God, my mom's gonna die. So they're still standing there, and then finally she, like, backs up and, like, closes the shade, and she yells for my brother John. She's like, Jonathan, like, get out here. So they are still at the door, and she goes like around the table to go into the living room to get to John's room. And they like, I guess because they heard like a man's name being called, they were like, oh, okay, whatever, and like went down the hall. So my mom, I don't know what's going on. Like, remind you, I'm still like in the back, like sobbing, like freaking out, having a panic attack. I don't know what my mom told my brother, but when he comes out of his room, I'm looking at him like, oh my God, like, John, help us. And John whips out a pocket knife and then goes out, like, just straight up goes outside. And I'm, like, screaming. I'm like, John, get back here. And then my mom followed him, because of course she did. And I was inside for this. And at the time, both my brothers lived at home, and both of them had girlfriends that were staying overnight, coincidentally. So I'm, like, sitting in the kitchen, like, screaming and crying, because my mom and my brother just went outside and are probably gonna get shot and, like, die. So the 2 girlfriends wake up and are like coming to try to comfort me and like ask me what's going on. So I guess what happened is my brother went outside with the pocket knife, and he went out like down our front steps, like on the sidewalk, and then he went into the street like looking for them, and he got like surrounded. by this group of guys. They're like 4 or 5 guys. They're like surrounding him, and my mom is in the background like trying to get down the stairs with her like bad knees and everything, going, "Don't you effing touch my son! I'll kill you!" Like. So anyway, one of the guys like recognized him, and he was like, "Oh, you're John from like this school." And John was like, "Yeah, sure. Like, what do you want?" And then I don't know, I guess because they recognized him, they decided they weren't gonna like murder him. I don't know. So then they like left. They like, a car like came halfway down the street and they all went in and got in the car. So my mom and my brother come back inside, and by now both of the girlfriends are awake and my older brother Aaron was awake. And I guess Aaron had woken up while the girlfriends were trying to like comfort me while all this other nonsense was going on. And my brothers used to collect like samurai swords and stuff. So Aaron had woken up and was trying to find his samurai sword because apparently we were gonna fight. Anyway, so everybody's inside now. Everybody's freaking out. And like, okay, like we have to call the police. Like we got to do something. Like these guys came. Like why didn't they attack John? Oh, like they recognized me for whatever reason. We're inside for like a good 15-20 minutes. Like everybody's trying to calm down. And then we hear something that sounds like a gunshot. And then we hear it again. And instead of calling the police and trying to like stay away from the windows and like make sure the door's locked and boarded up, my mom and both of my brothers sprint outside like they're gonna fucking do something if somebody has a gun. John has a pocket knife. Aaron didn't have anything with him. Mom sure as hell didn't have anything with her, and they're running outside like they're gonna go fight someone. What? So again, I'm like, I was coming down from a panic attack, and now I'm going straight back into panic attack and like screaming and crying, and I'm like, please don't go out there. Like, what if something happens? And they're just gone. They're just outside. And I guess what happened, thank God it wasn't a gun or anything. Nobody got shot. What happened is the guys came back because there's my street and then there's a street behind us that you can like kind of get, like, my yard's not blocked off in the back because we don't own the house. It's a housing thing. So my backyard isn't blocked off. So you could like, if you wanted to go for a walk, you could like leave my backyard and just go down the street that's behind us. I guess what happened is they came up through that back street, and the people that lived downstairs, their car, they took like a bucket of like rock salt because I think it was winter. No, it was summer. Where did they get a bucket of rock salt? I'm like, I think it was winter. It was the summer before my 7th grade. They took a bucket of rock salt and like filled it with like bricks or something, or rock salt or something. Like, I don't know. They took it and smashed the front and back windshield of their car and then just like left. And apparently that was like a warning. I don't know how that works. So like my family goes outside, and then finally, like, I don't know what happened. Finally they called the police or whatever, and I'm freaking out, and my mom's like, well, they might ask you to make a statement because you're like, you were the first person who saw them, and like da da da. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I want to go to bed and I want to know that I'm safe. Oh my God. And then like, I don't know, they called the police and like had gone outside to like talk to them, and they were like, yeah, my mom was like, my daughter's not coming outside. Like, she's not doing this right now. She's a traumatized child. And I guess at one point the cop's like taking notes or whatever, and he's like, okay, so your son gets surrounded. Did you call the police then? And she's like, no, we called the police after this. And he's like, okay, so you heard a gunshot and then ran outside with a pocket knife. And you still called us after that. After all this is when you decided to call us. And my mom's like, well, yeah, you know. My family decided that they were going to be crime fighters. My family decided that they were going to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Get it? I did a Marvel reference because I'm wearing my Marvel shirt. I was going to say Batman, but Spider-Man. It's on brand. My family decided that they were going to be vigilante heroes and try to like fight crime and like fight the war on drugs. Like, what are you doing? So if you ever wonder why I am the way I am, stories like this, okay? I have been traumatized since the beginning. Reasons why I'm Bucky Barnes. Traumatized is the big one. I don't know if that was entertaining at all. Probably just very concerning for anybody who didn't know that story beforehand. But yeah, that's the story on how my family decided they were gonna try to fight crime. My whole family almost died that night. Yup. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which won't be as traumatizing and scary as this one. This is the Shark Tales I've been saving up for a long time, so there it is. Bye, guys. That's when we started putting bats in the house, and my brother got his, like, billy club sword thing.